So I don't usually do reviews, but I figured I would start since second time mom and I'm using some products that are a little different than first time around. And so far I found one that I just love. I'm 3 days into using the silicone pump when I was pregnant with my little daughter Clementine. She's 2.5. I had an oversupply, and I have an oversupply again. And as much as it's a blessing, it's a curse as well, because I mean, you can't wear one shirt that's not soaked. Okay, what did I tell you? When Milo's done eating? So, someone told me to use a Haakaa, and I looked online and I looked at reviews and I found a Nature Bond one. It came with like a little cap, and at the time it didn't come with a string. I just looked on Amazon. It looks like it comes with a string as well, which is what I like about this new pump that I'm using. But I used the Nature Bond and I really loved it. It worked really well. It had a good fold, like the fold back was really good when I was trying to attach it. And I'll look at the products side by side, but I just wanted to mention this Lansinoh product. It's the same silicone pump. The silicone's a little thicker. The suction cup on the bottom is like a total game changer, because my silicone pump was knocked over all the time, and I cannot imagine this one running around the house and not knocking over my milk on the table. So I always have a coffee cup out with my Nature Bond one, so I can put it in there. But this one, it just suctions, and the suction cup works so well. And my Nature Bond lid never stayed on because the silicone wasn't thick. There's like a little stopper that worked, but it didn't always stop the spills. This Lansinoh one, the cap fits really tightly because the silicone is actually a little thicker. It has the suction cup, and it has this, like I said, this little clip string that I really like, because if it gets kicked off by the baby, the milk just like falls to your neck, so it's fine. I always had to use football hold with my daughter Clementine when I was using the Nature Bond one, because I was afraid she'd even like bump the Haakaa pump. Well, it's not a Haakaa, but bump the silicone pump. And this one, I've been nursing Milo cross cradle and cradle position, and he's hit it a couple times and it hasn't budged. The silicone is a bit thicker, so the suction is a little bit stronger. I like that, but that might be a little much. So I'm gonna do a side by side of them, but so far I have to say, just if you just want to watch the quick version of it, the Lansinoh pump, I don't see you beating it. This is the one I would go with. So again, it has a strap, it has the suction cup, and that's about 7 minutes after a letdown. Well, no, 7 minutes like until my letdown of nursing. And it's got the lid on it, and it's just great. Like, I can bump it with my phone and it doesn't tip over. Okay. Okay, so this is the Lansinoh version. It came with a lanyard, a cap, and the suction cup. So this is the cap, and it actually does stand pretty well compared to the Nature Bond one. I actually don't even have the Nature Bond cap anymore because it never stayed on. So you can see it does stay on. It was a tip, but it really never tips because the suction cup. And I mean, this is a good suction cup. It really stays on. So the plastic is a bit thicker. This is a con. I think when I fold it down, it will pop back up. Where with my Nature Bond one, it stays down, which is good because I'm not always fast enough to get it on. But because it is thick, you can kind of fold it with one hand, and because it has a suction cup, I can fold it with one hand easier than I just pop up the suction cup. This is a much thicker plastic than the other one. The lanyard can go around your neck in case it falls, and it's removable for when it washes. This is the Nature Bond one. Okay, you can see it is a little taller and skinnier. This one goes up and shows 4 ounces at the neck, where the Lansinoh's reading only goes to 100 milliliters, or a little over 3 ounces. So for me, that's a big deal because they both hold the same, but it is nice to pour from here and know how much I'm pouring. This is a thinner silicone. Don't mind it, it's wet because I just washed it. Okay, this is a thinner silicone. It's a little more flexible than this one. But you can see this one constantly is falling down because it doesn't have the suction cup. And on the plus side, I can fold this and it will stay as long as I need it to, so that when I am using it for the fold down method, it works. Comes with this little plug, but I never remember this plug. The truth is I never remember the cap or the plug. I kind of think the plug is better because it stops it from, you can see it has good suction. It stops it from spilling if it does tip, but this one doesn't really ever tip. A little trick is with the Nature Bond, I always just get a coffee cup, so when I'm finished, I just toss it in there so it doesn't spill. And I have coffee cups all around the house, but I mean, that's not a big deal. So, side by side, I would say that I really like my Lansinoh better because it has this suction cup, but I do find myself using this at night because I can one-handed fold it a lot easier, and then I just toss it into a coffee cup. It's easier to fold. So yeah, there's the comparison. If I had to rebuy it, probably buy this one. I will say that as a first-time mom, I actually might buy this one because this one's suction is really hard. The Lansinoh is really super strong suction, and this has a little less. It does pop off from time to time. I've not had this pop off one time, but it has a protective measure. When I bought this 2 years ago, it didn't have a lanyard. I think the new one comes with a lanyard. This came with a case, a lid, this thing, but I lost the lid because it never fit, and I never put it back in the case. So yeah, there's your side-by-side. I haven't used a Haakaa. I would love to try the actual Haakaa brand and see how it compares as well.